Hey guys, how the hell are you? Time once again for an all-new unbiased gear review. This time on the 1111 Ampsim by Otto Audio. Okay, so this is something really cool and interesting. I can't wait to dive into it for you. First of all, for the purposes of the tone demo, I am going to be utilizing my Reaver Compact single cut. It is an awesome instrument that kind of covers a wide variety of extreme metal styles. The main reason why I want to use this though for checking out an Ampsim is because these are a fairly killer kind of neutral sounding pickup set, and by neutral I mean like they seem to be perfectly geared for extreme metal no matter what Ampsim, pedal, whatever I'm running them into. So for that reason, we're going to use it for this video as well. Anyways, this is what the Otto Audio 1111 looks like when we first crack it open. These are the default settings. Really quick, let's just go over some of the features, because for those of us that are used to a few other Ampsims, this may seem a little different. So, first of all, this button up here controls the size of the Ampsim, how you're actually seeing it. This is the amplifier face with very familiar controls: preamp gain, bass, middle, treble, master volume, presence and depth, an on-off switch. Click on here and it brings you to the back of the amp, and now you've got this mod switch which changes up a character a little bit. You've got this punish, which is sort of an aggression control. You've got plus 10 dB, so if you want an instant kind of solo boost, you can. We also have this low end control, which kind of tailors the low end just a little bit more. Onboard gate, we've got the ability to switch through 3 different power tubes on here: bias, sag, feedback, and snarl. That snarl control is really cool for when you're getting really in depth with the tone shaping and want something a little grimier, a little filthier. That is great. We've also got an onboard impulse response on here that has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 22 different cabinets already preloaded in here. You can also adjust the resonance on the individual cabs themselves. Down here, familiar controls: input, output, mono stereo, oversampling, which allows for a few different versions. Another tone shaping capability right here with punch that kind of tailors the depth a little bit. And then also, if you want to switch off the power amp completely and maybe use a different sim to emulate a different type of power amp, you can switch that off as well. Speaking of switching stuff off to use additional sims or additional VSTs or whatever to get a slightly different tone, you can also completely bypass the impulse loader that's on board and use one of your own, which we'll get into later. Down here, we have a wealth of different presets. You're gonna see that this list is kind of getting cut off a little bit. There are so many different presets on here. They've got HM2 based chainsaw tones. They've got 3 different banks for different Otto audio presets, artist presets, which are supposedly are coming soon. You've got some bass tones on here, which are actually pretty damn awesome. Yes, you can record bass with this. Stuff that's more geared towards baritones and extreme extended range stuff. You've got some here that are meant to emulate different other amplifiers, although in my opinion that's to kind of a mixed degree. Like some of that, okay, yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Some of it's like, and kind of missing the mark a little bit. Don't even worry about this so much because this thing sounds just so damn gnarly. But the tone shaping doesn't end there. Down here, different tone stacks. So for instance, right here, we're not even going to touch the stuff on the back of the amp yet. We're not even going to touch the front controls. This is the default setting as it stands. And then let's change the tone stack. Low throne. A little bit more nasally mid-range, a little bit more tight and low end. Crush Satan. Even more different, the Otto. Long played tubes. That one gets some nice vintage tones when you really push it. Zero sequence harmonics. That one, as well as the next one, Thermionic. Great for getting some old school extreme metal tones. We're talking late 80s, early 90s, thrash and death kind of stuff. Both of those tone stacks do it great. Super Collider is probably my least favorite. Definitely some classic metal guys and some of the newer gent and prog metal guys would probably dig that. It's just extremely upper mids heavy. Super Collider is definitely a good name for it. It definitely brings to mind that overly pushed mid-range tone of that Megadeth album. Measured Gray. There we go. I'm liking that a lot more. Actual character. War Y'all. Black. 1991. And 1992. So as you can see already, lots of tone shaping. Let's just fuss around. Let's put this on the Otto. And now let's just play around with stuff on the back. So first of all, mod. Little bit of a difference, not too much though. Let's click on Punish, turn that off. So that's a little bit more aggression, a little bit more upper end bite. Plus 10. Low end. Different character there. The tubes. my favorite knob. That one tends to add a lot of character to this. You get the idea. I'm not going to go through all 22 impulses that are on here, but basically you've got a lot of tone shaping that you can do with this thing. If you really wanted to, you could also bypass a few things like I mentioned earlier. One of the things I like to do, I've got one preset on here that I call Scott Burns tone, and then I actually put in directions of which preset to use. So this preset, as you can see, is bypassing the onboard impulse response. These are the settings. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to load up 2 notes wall of sound. And we are on this preset that I've got here that you can't see it. It's cut off there, but it says Fill X Mega Brutality, which is just a few select Fill X cabinets with microphones that I think sound really, really good. And this is kind of what I get from that. Do you hear the vintage Morrisound tone there? Oh my God, is that just coming forth from the speakers? Oh man, that's so gnarly. That is so awesome. Yeah, you need an extra little helping hand to get that, but how cool is it that that's within your reach? Let's go back to some other presets that are just actually this Ampsim alone. So I love the chainsaw tones on here. So many great tones on here. Healthy lows. That is a pretty damn good mesa tone right there. Let's see, how about this one? Give me the gurns! Focused boogs. Let's see, how about handshake? That sounds like it would be pretty cool with a split tone. Pretty gnarly. Firm lows. So, I mean, as you can see, there's just tons of tone shaping options here. So overall, my final thought on this, dude, this is a killer plugin. This is ridiculous how good this thing is. Like, don't get me wrong. The first time you open it up, you might get a lot of option paralysis because there's so many ways that exist for you to shape the tone on this. But don't let that be something that intimidates you. Don't let that be something that pushes you away from this in favor of something that's a little bit more familiar. Especially if you're into the high gain stuff, the molten metal tones, especially the extreme metal sounds of yesteryear, and you're looking for something that kind of captures that, i.e. something that has a lot more character than what a lot of today's modern metal sometimes is lacking, then you really need to check out this Ampsim because I am just blown away by it. I'm floored by it. And yeah, I can't get enough of it, to be perfectly honest with you. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Tons more of this content to come. And as always, remember, take what you do seriously, but do not take yourselves too seriously.